I'd like you to take a moment and think about the activities you used to do in your childhood. A lot of us have memories of playing at parks, riding bikes, running around the neighborhood, playing basketball, and so on with our family and friends. These fond memories of engaging in physical activity when we were younger utilized our fundamental movement skills, which consist of locomotor skills and object control skills. These skills act as the building blocks for physical activity and sport participation. However, for children with autism spectrum disorder, the development of these essential building blocks for physical activity and sport participation have an atypical development. This atypical development can negatively influence participation in activities that require these skills and even result in further delays. In addition to this atypical development, children with ASD are also less likely to meet physical activity guidelines compared to their typically developing peers. This lack of meeting physical activity guidelines could have negative effects on their fundamental movement skill development and their overall health. This previous understanding surrounding atypical motor development and physical activity patterns of children with ASD drives the question of, is there a relationship between motor skill proficiency and physical activity engagement in children with ASD? So to answer this question, 9 children aged 8 to 10 with ASD were an activity monitor at the rest for 1 week and came to the lab to complete the test of gross motor development 3. The test of gross motor development 3 allowed us to evaluate their locomotor skills, such as hopping, skipping, and running, their object control skills, such as striking, throwing, and catching, and overall gross motor skills. The activity monitor provided a variety of measures of the child's physical activity engagement, including the number of steps that the child took each day. A correlation was then conducted with the child's results from the test of gross motor development 3 and the amount of steps they took on average. This correlation determined a positive relationship between locomotor skill proficiency and the number of steps the child took. This indicated that as the child's locomotor skill proficiency increased, the amount of steps they took on average also increased, meaning that they were participating in more physical activity. In contrast, if the child had poor proficiency in locomotor skills, they took less steps on average, therefore participating in less physical activity. This preliminary research indicates that there is a relationship between gross motor skills and physical activity participation, and that locomotor skill proficiency can possibly act as a barrier or a facilitator to physical activity engagement in children aged 8 to 10 with ASD.